Day 25, the limits of conscience. Beloved, if our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence before God. 1 John 3:21. Bonhoeffer again says in his letters from prison, conscience is timid, vacillating, and too easily overruled. Conscience alerts us to right and wrong, but yet it can be fragile. One day it trembles at compromise, the next it falls silent. A conscience fixated on personal innocence avoids responsibility. It seeks a clean record instead of a costly obedience. Evil thrives when we retreat into self-protection. The conscience that stands fast is one schooled by Christ. It is willing to act for others, even if misunderstood. It values the neighbor's rescue over one's own purity. This is not moral recklessness, but obedience shaped by love. We must confess when our conscience has been dulled by convenience or paralyzed by fear, or again dulled by indulgence. Then we ask God to awaken our conscience again, to move us not toward the protection of self or of self-image, but toward true and sacrificial love. This is a reading, again, out of Letters from Prison by Dietrich Bonhoeffer, as it addresses conscience. Then there is the man with a conscience who fights single-handed against heavy odds in situations that call for a decision. But the scale of the conflicts in which he has to choose, with no advice or support except from his own conscience, tears him to pieces. Evil approaches him in so many respectable and seductive disguises that his conscience becomes nervous and vacillating, till at last he contents himself with a salved instead of a clear conscience, so that he lies to his own conscience in order to avoid despair. For a man whose only support is his conscience can never realize that a bad conscience may be stronger and more wholesome than a deluded one. We want to be those who allow the Father to sprinkle our conscience with the blood of Christ. This is a part of what it means that the conscience that stands fast is schooled by Christ. We want to have a conscience that is awakened, even though it causes us to have to stare right into the face of evil. We must be those who allow our conscience to serve the purposes of the Father without it becoming something that we try to stand in all by ourselves and then have ourselves torn in two because we cannot bear what we see and we do not know all that we must do. We do not want to be those who avoid despair, but we want to be those who fully come into it, to the fullness of despairing of the self-life, and to realize there is no hope apart from Christ, and yet in Christ there is all hope. Let us be those whose conscience is absolutely blood-soaked, so that it will serve the purposes of the Father and will do what it was meant to do.